Hey guys, don't forget to go like and subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. We'd also love to hear feedback and questions from our listeners about today's episode. Feel free to shoot us an email at askSoSheSaid@gmail.com or SoSheSaidShow on Instagram. And without further ado, let's get this party started. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of So She Said. I'm Asha.
I'm Tam.
So, how was your weekend?
It was cool so far. Well, last weekend it was super fun, but this weekend, today, I went to BeautyCon, and then I went to the beach for a little while, so I had a good day.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. What about you? What you been up to?
My week has been bullshit.
Let us know.
I've been preparing for this vacation I'm going on, and you ever have a goal in mind and everything that could go wrong does go wrong.
Yes.
And it's just been one of those. I've been hustling. I've been at my job slinging shoes. I've been driving Uber like crazy, driving Uber illegally actually because I got my rental car through Lyft.
Oh, snap. So you're doing it on the sneak tip?
Because they're on some bullshit. They're they don't want to let you get instant pay and shit. And I'm I'm doing this shit because I want my money right now. But they said you have to do, I don't know. Anyways, long story short, I've been on the hustle. So
you're making it happen.
Yeah, it'll all be worth it when I'm in Barcelona, topless on a beach somewhere.
Right. Taking Instagram worthy pics.
And the best part is that I won't have cell phone service, so I'll be completely off the grid. And I don't have to let y'all motherfuckers know where I'm at.
You don't.
Honestly, I could just live a wonderful bliss European life.
Eat, pray, love.
For the time that I'm out there. And should I happen to choose to come back to this fucked up country?
That part. Because if I leave, I cannot make no guarantees.
At all. I'm just saying. Fuck that job.
I don't even like that job that much anyway.
The fuck? I will be a fucking, oh my God, is that the ice cream truck?
That's how you know you in LA, ice cream truck.
On everything. But, yeah, so getting into today's topic or whatever, it actually came from an Uber situation that I was in, and I'm kind of ashamed to tell this story, but it's the truth, and I feel like it's a real, issue or something that we all face within the Black community.
Most definitely.
So I was driving this passenger. I picked her up over in Bel Air, really nice white lady or whatever, and not Bel Air, the Palisades actually. And anywho, I picked her up and we were driving to some private club. I think it's called the Jonathan Club or something in Malibu. We were driving through this expensive Palisades neighborhood, and then I see these three Black guys come out of this estate, and they were darker skinned, had dreadlocks, and they just came out, and I my heart automatically jumped, and my first thought was holy fuck, did they just rob this house? And I could tell that she had the same look on her face that I had on my face, really scared and nervous. And I really instantly felt fucked up because why, as a Black woman, did I feel that these Black men just robbed this home? And, how can I advocate for Black Lives Matter and, racism and prejudice and all this other shit when I was prejudiced against my own people? I felt terrible about it.
So this is my opinion about this. Sure, it makes you a good person that you actually realized it and that you felt bad. But the truth is, and this may make a lot of people uncomfortable, but Black people are broke. By and large, we're poor. The median Black family in Los Angeles, based on wealth statistics, not my opinion, people, watch Antonio Moore. He has Tone Talks on YouTube. Watch Yvette Carnell on YouTube as well. They'll break all this down for you in simple idiot terms for you can understand. The average Black family in Los Angeles has a net worth of $1,700. So when you may not be aware of those facts, but when you know just by general knowledge, being out and about, all the Black people live around where you live, went to high school around where you went to high school, etc., go to the same clubs, eat the same things, that those Black people over there in Palisades are out of place. And
But
it's not like you're assuming they're doing a crime is fucked up. They're out of place. What are you doing over here? I know you don't live over here. So what are you doing? Either you know some others and you're over there to party or kick it, or you're doing something illegal because you do not live here. Because if you lived here, we would know who you are. You would be a basketball player, a football player, or some sort of entertainer.
I don't know that.
But that's based on statistics. It doesn't have
Oh
to
yeah,
be.
yeah. I was like, they could have been somebody big, or had some sort of like business or some shit, or they could have been in a fucking Airbnb.
That either.
They could have been in that shit too. But I was just like, damn, why was my first assumption that they robbed it? And that's
because you know that they were out of place, and I know that makes you feel bad, but you automatically know that they're out of place.
But not even just that. Like I really got to just dive into the full thing. Like I know personally, I've grabbed my bag like a little white lady before when I've seen like somebody walk down the street, or and I'm just like, am I racist against my own people?
Okay, there's this article, and you sent it to me when we were preparing for this, and it's from The Atlantic, and it talks about implicit biases. And it said that a lot of black people were surprised when they took the test that they scored the same as white people, like that they are basically more pro-white than pro-black. And it's because when you live in America, whether we like it or not, we all are marketed the same things. We get the same media, the same messaging, and that is that black people equals crime, criminality, less than, our things are just denoted as bad behavior when white things are synonymous with being American. So just like white people get to see only black people doing crimes and getting arrested on TV, we see the shit too. And it makes us afraid of ourselves. Like if I see a pack of niggas in all black and hoodies, I'm going to walk on the other side of the street.
Right.
Because everything that they told me about you niggas is bad. Like nothing good is going to come out of this interaction.
Maybe shit we've observed too in certain circumstances that we've been in. Like, it's just, I hate that. That's my first train of thought. Like, oh, like, why couldn't I think something positive? Because I took that implicit test.
Yeah.
And my result was that I moderately prefer Caucasian and European people over black people. They're like, oh, I guess there were like two images on the screen. If you click, the one you click on the quickest, like I guess it was
word association.
Yeah. Like, okay, there's a picture of a white person, then they're like positive. So white people and positive go in this category. So drag positive words to this category, or whatever. And then black people negative go in this category. And then they switched it, like black positive, white positive, and they're like, whichever one like you were able to drag like the words to quicker, it's like your like subliminal preference.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucked up. And then I took another test, and it also said that I have a preference for light-skinned people over dark-skinned people. And I feel like a fucked up person. I'm like, nah, I don't think that's right. Like, question it, took the shit again, said the exact same thing.
Yeah, it has to do with subliminal messaging.
So do you think black on black racism is real?
I wouldn't call it racism, because racism implies power, in my opinion. Black people can be prejudiced, can be judgmental, but there's no way that I have the power to stop you from getting a job or buying a house, or I can't call the police on you because you're barbecuing somewhere I don't think you should be barbecuing. That would never work for me. So it's not racism, but it is prejudice, and it is like a little bit of judgment. And like the lady was saying in the article, it's a sort of dichotomy that black people face, because it's like you get all the messaging from the media, black is bad and all of these things, but you still think highly of yourself, and you were still raised as a black person with certain values, and you do care about your culture to a certain extent, but it's, I'm not like those black people. And, like, there's this sect of us that are cool, like Obama and them. I'm in that group. And those niggas, I don't know them. Mm-hmm. And that's how black people operate. Like, even I've grown up my whole life in the house with Southern black people, and both of my grandparents used to say niggas and flies. The more I'm around niggas, the more I like flies. And they're from fucking Jim Crow South, and they're talking like that.
I just think the way that we think is just fucked up. Like, I wish I could just be like, oh, like, hey, black person walking down the street. When I drove through that neighborhood, I should have been like, oh, look at them, excelling. Like, why couldn't I think positive thoughts first before the negative went into my mind,
And also, maybe people might not like this, but I think as a black person in America, you're aware of the situation for other black people. So just seeing that, that that's not normal. And like I said before, if they live there, they would be famous. We would know who they are on sight. It wouldn't be these unnamed individuals because all black people.
There's a lot of young rappers. I don't know who the fuck they are.
But
like it could have been like Uzi something or whatever.
One of the little.
One of them niggas.
That's true too.
I don't know, but I just saw
the Migos coming out of these white people's house, and you were.
And I was like, oh my God, like what's going on? You know what I mean? But then on the reverse side of things, like had that have been a black person that was like lighter skin, like without dreadlocks, like,
maybe dressed a certain way.
Yeah, like, cute little weave, whatever, like, or, just, very well put together and like less urban. I can't believe I just said less urban. Okay. But
I was going to say also, would you think it would have been different if they were all girls? Like still dressed how they were dressed or whatever, but females, would you have thought differently?
Yes.
See? So it's a black male thing. It's not a black people thing at all. Because I've never walked down the late night street and crossed the street because there were 4 black girls I was scared of like that. It doesn't happen the same. It's a black male thing because their character in America is like the boogeyman. Exactly. And that's from before we were born.
So this is how these racist white cops are thinking.
Yeah, when they see that nigga, he clearly has done a crime.
He did the shit.
Come over here. Let me talk to you.
Oh my God, I feel so bad.
It's the character. It's the role that they've been assigned here in America.
So then, is there a solution here? Is that something that's from what you're saying? This is what's put into our heads, like through the media. I'm just gonna say. Yeah. So if we start portraying positive images of black men in our culture, take away like the love and hip hop and the 50 cents and the gangsters and the hip hop culture, then would people start to view us differently?
Black people need an extreme rebranding campaign. Like we need to hire some of the top PR people and some of our celebrities, real shit, they have to go away. Like P. Diddy, we need you to hide. We can't have you out representing us anymore because you also feed into the narrative that like, oh, black people are fine. Like they're rich. Look at him. He's great. Look at all those black kids. And no, we have problems that we need to fix. So and like Blackish, that's another kind of a problem. I know people love that show.
Like Blackish.
I know you guys love that show, but it's like the Cosbys. It's not real. There are like 100 black families like that in America. Most of us can't live like that because we can't afford it. Mm-hmm. Most of our moms aren't doctors like Bo. Mm-hmm. So you need to show some realistic black people, not black people that are white adjacent, that are like white people in blackface. Mm-hmm. Show us some real black people like Good Times and shit. So we can understand. So when white people see us out, they're like, oh, they're normal just like us. They got families. Like, why is our TV show Blackish, but then white people have Roseanne, where she's like living in a house that they can afford, wearing clothes that they can afford, going through situations that they can relate to. And we all sit and like fantasize and watch Blackish. They're living in this nice ass house. The kids go to these nice ass schools, and it's not a bad thing to aspire, but our whole culture can't be based on aspiration. Well, some of it has to be real.
I disagree because I grew up in a nice house and went to a nice school, and that was a reality for me.
But you are not the majority of black people, and that happened because your father.
Right, but I feel like there's shows too where they show black people in like a more like. Is it poor class or lower
class? But no, we don't have. Name a black middle class show that's out right now.
A black middle class show?
Yes, that's not a nice house. Nobody driving a Benz. Nobody goes to a nice school.
But why can't middle class be nice?
I'm talking about being realistic. I'm not talking about aspirational. Like the average black person didn't get to live like you live, and you're aware of that. Like there are people in your family that didn't even get to live as nicely as you lived. Okay. So you're aware that there's a big difference. Like you got lucky based on your circumstances. Your dad is college educated, etc. So you should have had a better life than the average person. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make you the majority of black people. You would be in the small little percentile, like the 3 percentile.
But
our TV shows, our marketing shouldn't be about you because you're not the majority.
It's not unrealistic, is what I'm saying. But it is,
Asha. What you're not understanding is that's 3%. Even me, I went to private school. Mm-hmm. That's 3%. The average black people go to poor ass private school in their neighborhood where they live. Most black people in America live in urban areas. Mm-hmm. So that's not the reality, and they can't show my life or your life on TV because that's bullshit. They need to show some real black kids like that live over here in Hawthorne or that live by Dorsey, that's walking to school every day or that take the bus and both of their parents have jobs, or maybe it's a single mom and they
Isn't
visit their
Atlanta
dad.
kind of a show like that?
That's the only real show out right
Because
now.
I feel like that's a black middle class show.
No, it's not even middle.
Out.
It's real, like lower middle class. That show is real life, and I think that's why it's going over so well. That's why it's being nominated for so many awards, because black people, especially my age, we can see ourselves in that show. Which one of us doesn't know a guy like Earn that's trying to do well, but that just doesn't have the money to fucking do the shit that he needs to do? So it turns off another series of unfortunate events in his life all the time. That's real life. We should not be watching people like Bo and Andre. It should be all that. We should have 5 Atlantas for different stages in people's lives. We should have and then fuck Atlanta, because a lot of the stuff in that show you can't relate to so much because that's out there. In California, it would be totally different.
Okay, but if we're trying to like switch the narrative about like how we're viewed and stuff like that, and if we're viewed in a negative light, then I don't see anything wrong with a show like Blackish, because it's putting a positive light.
But it's unrealistic. It doesn't help. Like, then that white people, they're cool with those kind of black people, which is more Obamas and Michelle's. Not a regular black person. Because white people, they might watch Blackish and they'll be cool with that. Oh my God, I would love to be friends with Bob. I would love to be friends with Andre. But there's 100 of them out there.
I don't like the term regular black person, though. I don't like that.
You want me to say average?
You can say whatever you want to
Yeah,
be
okay,
honest.
average.
I mean, But
look at the wealth data. I mentioned 2 people earlier, Antonio Moore, who's an economist, and Yvette Cornell. They go over this stuff all the time on their
No,
YouTube
I guess
channels.
I'm saying, I'm not even talking about like a money factor. Like when you say regular black person, like I've grown up being called an Oreo, or you're not black enough, you don't act black. And for someone to say, put all black people into this one category, like this is black people, these are regular black people, this is how black people should act, this is how much money they should make, this is how you should talk, this is how you should walk. Bullshit.
I'm not saying that black people are monolithic. I'm not saying that we have to be a monolithic group, because I've been criticized for talking the way that I talk and everything like that. But like I mentioned before, I'm not the average black person. I went to private school. I have a better education. I got to go to college. I got to travel when I was young. There are things that I've experienced that the average black person has not. So I can't put myself in the same category as them. People that grew up with only one parent, no help from anybody else outside, that only went to public school, that never got a chance to leave their neighborhood or their state for that matter. Those people, and it's not like we're any better than them, it's just different.
Yeah.
And they have different experiences, and since they are the majority, those are the things that should be put out for public consumption. So people can be sympathetic to that group of people. Because I'm fine, white people have given me plenty of jobs, plenty of opportunities. I look how I look, I talk how I talk. They're very comfortable around me.
Right.
It's the other people, like people that I deal with, people in my family, my cousins or whatever, that weren't as fortunate as me, those are the people they need to get acquainted with.
You know what? And vice versa. Like, they are very comfortable around you, and I feel like I'm very comfortable around them. To be honest, it's my own people that have pushed me, like kicked me to the curb and have talked shit about me and made me feel uncomfortable.
Because you make them feel uncomfortable. And that's something that I had to realize, and it made me feel a little bit fucked up. It bothered me a little bit, but that's real. I make them uncomfortable because to them, I'm basically a white person.
Or they think that you're better.
Because that's what's been marketed to them. Just like we were saying, when you saw the niggas coming out of the house, you were like, oh, they just stole some shit. When they see you and I, they're like, they think they better than us because they talk like that and them bitches listen to Taylor Swift.
And that's not the case at all.
But if that's how we're acting, like if when I go to your neighborhood and I'm like,
I'm not acting any type of way. This is just who I am.
And they would say the same thing about themselves.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with how y'all act. Like, what the fuck? I've been in the hood before. I have, you know what I mean, friends that don't like come from the same background that I do. And I don't think that I'm a better person, like, because of that. Like, you are who you are, and that's what makes you a beautiful person. Like, you know, I have something to learn from you and take from you, and like vice versa. None of us are the same. And I've never thought that I was better than somebody that grew up in the hood. Like, to be honest, if you think I'm better, that's on you. I've never like portrayed that before, that I think that I'm better than you.
Okay, but this is what I would say. It doesn't have to be that like you're saying that you're better, that you think that you're better, because that doesn't really make sense, right? Like, who does that? You would have to be a really horrible person. But it's in our actions, in the way we talk, in just us living our regular lives that drives a big wedge and differentiates us. Like, remember when we lived on 40th and they would come over our house to kick it? Oh, what are y'all doing? Oh, y'all on that college girl shit. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, y'all talk like white girls. Oh, y'all listening to that white girl shit. Everything positive that we would think was going on in our lives, they equated to whiteness. Mm-hmm. Because they had never seen any black people doing the shit that we were doing.
And that's ignorant.
To you, you would say that that's ignorant, and I would have said the same thing back then. I would be like, these niggas are retarded, like they never been anywhere. But that's not necessarily their fault.
We were not saying retarded. I'm just saying ignorant, like you don't know no better.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like when I was young, that's what I would think. Like, oh, these niggas are stupid. Like, you know. But it's because
I didn't say stupid. Those words never came out of my mouth.
Ignorant and stupid, basically the same thing. But we would think that because we have been afforded different opportunities than them, and we've been exposed to more things, so our minds are a little bit more open. Even though we lived in the same place and we're going through the same like day-to-day shit that they were going through, totally different. Mm-hmm. And they equate that with whiteness because all the black people all the other black people on our whole block, Asha, they had no idea what was going on with us. Mm-hmm. We were like the two white girls that lived on the street. Mm. It's because we don't have nothing in common with them real shit. Besides the color of our skin.
Okay.
So, for a non-black person, that makes them uncomfortable. You and I, we can live over there and we can handle it because we got cousins like that. We can place them, you know? Like, oh, he's just a little bit ghetto. Or he's a gangbanger, so we're not going to do that. Oh, he's a pimp. That's why he's always saying sup with y'all. He's trying to get us into his web. You know, we're not going to walk that way. Mm-hmm. White people don't know that. And their first instinct is to call the cops. Because he looks like the nigga I seen on the news doing the crimes.
Mm-hmm. Because they have nothing to relate to.
They have nothing to relate it to. We get by because we have some type of reference point. Mm-hmm. They get scared as fuck. Mm-hmm. Even with women, like with this new uptick of white people calling the cops on black people for doing regular shit, it's because we make them uncomfortable.
Okay.
Even just existing. Because they're like, what is that person doing here?
Well, then you shouldn't have fucking drug us the fuck over here. Get over it.
Boom. That part. And
like,
that's...
I'll just never understand that. Like, we weren't never immigrants. We were drug over here against our own will. For you to just not want us here, it just doesn't make any sense because you did. You made us your slaves, and now because we're not, like, kissing your ass, picking your cotton, doing whatever anymore, and like trying to like make our own life, you know,
because we didn't want to live at your house no more.
Exactly.
And do what you say.
Exactly. Like you salty about this shit.
Like there's a comedian, I can't think of his name right now, but he said back in slavery times everybody had a job. There was no such thing as being unemployed. But as soon as that shit ended, now black people are the most unemployed people in America. Mm-hmm. It's not because there are no jobs, it's because we're not about to pay you for the shit that you used to do for us for free.
Yeah.
No. And I can get my son or my niece or my nephew to sit in this nice AC office and do the work I need to do before I ever get you to do it, nigga. Who do you think you are? Your great-great-grandma used to clean my whole house for free.
I read this article and it said that our society is set up to keep the weak from losing. Like,
oh, that hit me in the heart.
Our government programs, like all that type of shit, like it's set up to... It's a fucking crutch.
Most of the people, the richest people, make their money off of unearned income. Mm-hmm. It's like I work in finance and I make money for people every single day that do not work, that have never worked a day in their lives. Mm-hmm. And they have more, some of them have more money than people in my family have ever seen. Mm-hmm. It's because their parents or their grandparents put aside some money and invested it properly, and now they get paid off the residuals of that. They don't do anything.
Right.
And these people have a full-blown life. They got a condo, a car, and all the extra shit that you and I have to work 40 hours or more a week just to maintain. Mm-hmm. Those people aren't like us.
Right.
We may not ever be able to catch up. There's an article out now. If you Google the 200-year gap, it'll take the average black person 200 years to catch up to the average white person's wealth.
I mean, I don't like to make like excuses or whatever because I feel like no one is better than anybody and you can make whatever circumstances you want within your own life.
But like we didn't all start at the same point.
No, but you have the full opportunity to change your circumstances every single day. You just have to put the work and effort forth. There's nothing like holding you back from doing that.
I can't agree with that. I agree that there's nothing holding you back from trying, but there are many things holding you back from succeeding at it. You can try as much as you want. For example, there are hundreds of black girls that sell lip gloss, lipstick, lip kits, whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. None of them have 900 million like Kylie.
Okay.
That just is what it is, and that's not her fault, and that's not their fault. They just been afforded different opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't say that, for example, a perfect example, we can't say that China is like slipping, or she not shit, or she needs to do better at her lash cosmetics because Kylie's gonna be the youngest billionaire in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Kylie grew up on TV. She's been on TV since she was like 8-9 years old.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm just saying, I still feel like, but it's just being in a different circumstance.
And
Kylie's
that's what Black
circumstances
people
are completely different from yours and mine, or Black China's, or whoever's trying to get their makeup line popping or whatever. Like, and they probably have a different set of goals. I don't even know that Kylie really even has goals, to be honest, because she had a spoon in her mouth growing up. You know?
Yeah, like she probably didn't set out to do that. It just happened.
Exactly.
But that's what we were talking about work and about trying. Like another example, Keisha Kayor, she's been selling makeup for as long as I can remember. She's been selling these bright colored, weird lips that I would never consider wearing, right? Because I'm not a makeup person like that. But it's been out, and she's not at that level either.
Mm-hmm.
This girl's been doing it for 3 years, but because she has this super huge platform that she has, it's been able to explode and blow up.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have anything to do with work or work ethic. That just has to do with opportunity that's been presented to you.
Mm-hmm.
So for the average Black person in America, they haven't been offered that much opportunity, if any.
Well, we know that though.
So it's like we live in the same country, but we in two different planets.
Mm-hmm.
Like we live in a different America than everybody else lives.
Oh yeah, but I think that applies to everybody except for like the white majority. I feel like all ethnicities have their own personal struggles. Like, my day-to-day isn't going to look the same as, like, a Mexican American or a Native American or an Asian American. Like, everybody has their own shit that they have to fucking deal with.
But I don't count people that have a country to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a country to go back, like Native Americans and Black people, we're the only people that's here and we fucked. Because we don't have no other home.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're a real African American, like from Africa, if the shit hits the fan in America, you can go back to Nigeria, you can go back to Kenya or wherever. If you're a Mexican, shit hits the fan here, your home is right around the corner. You can go back. Asians, you can go back. Your countries are booming over there.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have shit. If America blows up, we're gonna blow up as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of different. Like for example, I've worked with a bunch of Mexican people since I first got a job, and what a lot of them say that are not like ingrained in the American system or whatever is that like, oh yeah, they are here and they want to get their education or whatever, and they have this job, but when they retire, they're gonna go to Mexico, and it's like, oh shit, you can leave here when you're 50 or 60. Take all of this money that you made and go out there and have a really, really nice life where I'm still going to be here struggling if I don't figure some other shit out. Asian people as well. I work with the Asian guy right now. He's the head accountant over me. He's paid as fuck. He left our job and was like, fuck this, I don't need this, and went to live in Hong Kong for 3 years with his son and just came back like, hey, I'm back. Got his job back. No big deal.
But at the same time, there's nothing holding us back from doing the same thing.
Where will we go? This is our country.
It doesn't matter. It's you go wherever the fuck you want to go. Nothing's holding you here saying you have to stay in the United States of America.
I think you're misunderstanding me. This is our home, though. Those other people, this is not their home. They came here to come up.
Exactly.
We're just here.
Exactly, but we're not stuck here is what I'm saying.
But this is our home.
Okay, it is our home, but you can make a home wherever you damn near please. Nothing's keeping you here is what I'm saying.
I guess we just have difference of opinion. Like for me, my ancestors are here 500 years back. So there's no other place. Like I've contemplated leaving. I tried to leave before when I was young. I tried to go to England. My dad has lived in Africa for the past 7 years. I would go there. But then after all this Trump shit started to happen, I was like, wait a minute. I'm more American than all of these people. Their family immigrated. They can't even go back 40 years. Somebody came to through Ellis Island. I've been here. My people built this place. There's blood in the ground for me. My family members have fought in every American war, period.
Yeah.
So it's my job. It's my right to be here and to figure this shit out. Going any other place would be running. And I would be a guest. I would be an immigrant there. I would get treated like Mexicans and other people get treated here. No, I don't. Why am I gonna run away?
I mean, we get shot dead in the streets by our own people, the police. Like, it's systematic oppression. Like, I mean, we get treated like shit here too. As far as I'm concerned, like, all I'm saying is in a literal sense, Nothing is holding you back from staying here in this country. Granted, it is our country and this is where we're from, etc., etc.
Yeah, like it's our job to do something about it, in my opinion.
Shit, if we wanted to pack up today and go to Mexico, we could. Like, we could go somewhere else. We could go to Hong Kong. We could go to Asia. I meet people all the time that tell me that they lived somewhere else, like in a different country. They came back, you know what I mean? Or I know a girl, a black woman, she lives in China right now. She said she likes it better over there. You have the opportunity to change your circumstances. Nothing is chaining you here to the United States of America, is my point. Sure. Period. Like, I mean, yeah, we have slave ancestors that are here, that blood's in the streets, all that stuff or whatever. But I'm saying, like, we have free will to do as we please. Nothing's holding us.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything is holding me or anyone else, no. But I just mean as a black person, like an African American descendant of slaves, for me, it's my job to be here and to figure and to make the best of this shit, like the people before me. Because to just leave this like I'm giving away my rights. Because in no country am I going to have more rights than I have here as an American, especially being a woman. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to throw that away because white people try to brush me off and treat me like whatever. No.
I mean, that's a valid point. But you still have the freedom to leave.
No.
You have your reasons for staying, but you also could just take off tomorrow if you wanted to.
Yeah, you need to figure this shit out. And there have been hundreds and thousands of black people, generations before me, that have chosen to left. James Baldwin, a lot of artists left and chose to go to France and these other places because it's easier and they're more accepted. Sure, we can do that. We can go on vacation. Maybe when I have children, I'll take them to another country. They can be, you know, a little bit more free in their younger years, and they'll come back here when they're older, whatever the case. But I just feel like this American shit it's not all roses, it's not all good. But if you're a black person and you're a descendant of a slave, it's kind of your duty to be here and to figure this shit out and to make them do right by us. Because people have died. For other people, like if your parents came from Ireland, from England, Australia, wherever the fuck, it really don't matter. Because y'all have not been oppressed here. You haven't. Irish people, they used to get treated bad back in the gangs in New York Times. But you know, they've all assimilated and they all got on team whiteness. Mm-hmm. They fucking did what they had to do and they got their rights and they make sure that they're straight. I think we need to do the same. And people try, like in the 60s, the Martin Luther King times. Like I just came back from Memphis. There was people marching every day, doing the bullshit all the time, doing sit-ins and all of this stuff. And we got a little bit further, like we got the Civil Rights Act and we got these certain things, the Voting Rights Act, and then we stopped. Like everything was all good. And from like the 70s to the 80s, everybody was just partying like it was fucking Jubilee time, like that scene in The Wiz when they get to Emerald City. Mm-hmm. And that's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be pushing further because now all the things that we fought for are kind of gone. Like the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act got taken away under the first black president. That's insanity. Affirmative action, white women are the number one recipients of that. That was supposed to be for us. Insanity. Mindy Kaling's Indian brother has a whole book about how he faked being black to get into medical school to become a doctor.
Oh, wow.
These people take the benefits that our people have bled for, have died for, and we don't do anything because we're unaware, maybe because we're too busy surviving.
I just think that the majority of us don't give a fuck.
We're too caught up with surviving. It's hard. I understand. When you got to figure out how you're going to eat, you 20, 21, like most black girls our age already have kids. Mm-hmm. They have fucking bigger fish to fry than worrying about, in their opinion, than to worry about politics or what's going on in the world. But that really does shape our society. And if I'm a black woman and I plan to, you know, be with and marry a black man and have black children, I have to figure out how to make this the best for them. I don't want my kid to get shot like Tamir Rice. Mm-hmm. No, that shit couldn't happen. Not for me. Mm-hmm. I would be in the street every day. I'm doing something. I'm going to be in these politicians' face every day. Right. Because you have to. This is your home. Because if you go to another place, you're nobody over there. You can't complain about shit. And black people get treated badly across the world. I've seen videos in London where they fucking beating black people up with batons and sticks.
Yeah, and it's all a real reality. But like I say again, I just really feel like there's black people out here, and then there's niggas, and then niggas don't care.
Oh, definitely.
And they don't give a fuck.
Definitely.
They think that, black people are fine. Like, just how, like, maybe, like, you said about Diddy or whatever.
Yeah,
we're doing good. I could be a baller. I could be a rapper.
I could get me a Rolls Royce and a gold chain.
And I'll be A-okay, but they don't look deeper into the situation. And, you know, we're just too separated as a people. Like, I would hope that one day we could just band together and just, you know, go against this, like, have some sort of slave rebellion, because we are still slaves. New slaves, you know? Like, and we could just overcome maybe one day, but like in the near future, I just don't see this shit happening. There's been progress. We've been moving forward, because I think, honestly, I'm glad Donald Trump is our president.
Me too.
I'm very glad, because it's opening some eyes here, you know, like, and I feel like now that y'all can clearly see this shit and we can't hide behind, you know, pretty words and songs, and this person just opened up a school in this community, so he couldn't be a racist, you know what I mean? Like,
that bullshit.
Like,
I got a black homeboy.
He is right here in front of our faces, and without saying it, he's like, I don't like y'all motherfuckers. Like, there's a mass majority of people out here, the Ku Klux Klan supports me, and they don't like y'all niggas either. Like, this is who's running this country. Boom, it's in your face. You cannot ignore this bullshit any longer. It's here.
What I have to say that I appreciate most out of all of this is that the veil of like white femininity and fragility and all of that shit and angelicness has been snatched off, because for years, for centuries, probably since slavery time, they've been promoting like, oh yeah, it's like the white man, that he's the devil, you know, he's the one that's doing all the shit, he's beating us and all that, and the white lady, she's not so bad, and you know, she's all good and everything, and like black guys expect, oh yeah, if you could just get a white girl, everything will be fine. Now you're getting to see these women, 40% or something of them voted for Trump. You get to see. She can suck your dick and still not be fucking with you when she goes to the ballot box.
Listen,
in her politics.
There's white women with black ass children that are racist against their own children.
And people do not realize that. I seen this guy on Twitter, and he was so he posted like the text from his girlfriend or his baby mama, like, why'd you put these braids in my baby's hair? She looks ghetto as fuck, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, she's black. And she's like, no, she's not.
Ooh.
And I'm like, nigga, I bet you didn't know that when you was fucking her, huh? I bet it was all good. I bet she wasn't bringing up none of this shit, huh? But real shit, she doesn't want your baby walking around looking like Serena Williams with the beads and shit in her head with her white family, because it makes them uncomfortable. And then they think about yo black ass.
But then here comes the cultural appropriation part of everything, because I'm going to go there. It's ghetto as fuck. Like, that the kid, you know, has this braids in their hair because they are black. You know, it's pretty much how we've been our whole lives. It's a part of our culture. But then, you know, you can see Kim K on Instagram with her little cornrows or Bo Derek braids, air quotes. Hey. And it's a new trend. You know, Kylie could have her pink wig on and it's a new trend. But let one of us do it and, oh, she ghetto. Like, you know, like, and it's some shit we owned or started in the first fucking place. Y'all love hip hop culture, you love black culture, but you don't like to give credit where credit is fucking due.
I think that's going on forever in America. They always love black culture. They always love us for what we can do, our ability, but they don't want us. Like, in my, you know, maybe great grandparents' time or whatever, white people used to come down to Harlem where the black people were and go to the clubs and listen to the jazz and blah, blah, blah.
And then go back home to Manhattan.
And go back home to their nice ass life. You niggas are not allowed over here with that shit. If I catch you playing jazz on the corner or something, you going to jail.
I'm calling.
You're not doing that over here. Same thing now. Don't you remember years ago with Miley Cyrus when she was twerking? Oh, everybody wants to know how to twerk now. It's twerk classes. It's people's grandmas twerking. But when we're doing it, oh, we're sluts and whores and it's super sexual. And nobody ever gave the twerk team no world tour. And them bitches have been popping since we was kids.
Right.
Twerking up this tornado.
Right.
Nobody cares.
Shit, I forgot about the twerk team, actually.
Hey, shout out to y'all. Miss Twerk some. They want to see Miley doing it. They don't want to see you. And Miley even had a couple black girls in the video, but not too much. Not too much to make y'all uncomfortable.
Or if she did, I'm sure she had some light-skinned girls in the video.
It was one dark-skinned girl, but she was like super big.
Okay.
And it was just like, okay, stereotypical. And then as far as like the Kylie Kim K type of cultural appropriation shit, I think that's the whole black adjacent thing. Like, we love things that are almost black, but not a black person.
Yeah.
Like, you come here with the big hoops and the braids and you got the big ass too. Come on in here, girl. We cannot let a black person in here.
You know what? And here's where I struggle with this, because I feel like as of lately, like black people just love to scream like cultural appropriation. Oh yeah,
like for everything.
Like, fuck, can anybody just like doing something?
Because some of y'all bitches got blonde weaves screaming cultural appropriation. Like, stop. Put your phone down.
And then there's a real point there, because when I see that, I be up in the comments on all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when I see that, like, I have to, like, look and think to myself, like, well, there's a fair point. And then they're like, no, it's not cultural appropriation because there's actual black people that have blonde hair.
But that's not why you have it, boo.
But then let's keep it all the way 100, girl, because I've seen black girls that have blonde weaves and then have blue contacts in, green contacts. Like
bitch, let's take it further. Let's take it to black girls. Like, not trying to throw you under the bus, boo.
Or is that assimilation instead of appropriation?
So as a black person, and I'm not trying to be fucked up, but as a black person, if you're the minority in a country and everything that's marketed to you is that these group of people are the epitome of beauty and everything that's going on with you is ugly and fucked up, you're going to go out of your way to look as close to that thing as you can. Mm-hmm. Why do you think Nene Leakes and all these other chicks walking around with blonde weaves and nose jobs? They're trying to get as close to that as they can. It's not like they're ashamed of being black, but they want to be accepted and they want to get the bag too. Mm-hmm. So if I got to change how I look a little bit to do that, then that's what's up. Halle Berry admitted she got a nose job too. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for Beyonce to come out and tell us some shit she did to her face.
She looks completely different.
She's not going to be real though, but we know you did something too.
Yeah.
And you've been had the blonde hair for years.
Lil' Kim full on bleached herself.
Lil' Kim fucked up her whole self. She's unrecognizable. She looks like an Asian woman. Mm-hmm. Cause and that's a different level of pressure. So the average black girl in the street with her fucking blonde weave and her blue contacts is trying to get by. She's trying to feel her way through because she can't afford no nose job.
Even us putting a fucking hot comb or hair straightener to our head.
Same thing. Like, I'm guilty of that.
Real shit.
Because someone I was involved with, we were watching a movie and Yaya DaCosta was on the TV and she had her big afro and she had these tight jeans on and a little crop top and she looked very cute. Mm-hmm. And he was like, would you ever rock a fro? And I was just like, no. And he just started laughing and he was like, why not? She looked bomb. And I was like, yes, she looks cute. It looks cute on her. Like, that's her aesthetic. I said, I'm from LA. Mm-hmm. That looks like undone hair.
Yaya was from where?
American Next Top Model, yeah.
She was like from Harlem, right?
Yeah, she was from New York.
Bitch, like, that's Harlem.
And you grew up around Afrocentric people. Mm-hmm. Every day you went outside, you probably saw a black lady, beautiful like yourself, with a big afro.
We're in Hollywood.
I grew up in LA. Bone straight hair. Mm-hmm. Okay. The lighter skin that you can have, the better. I thought I was too dark skinned when I was little, real shit. Because my mom was more light skinned than me, and my little sister is more light skinned than me with hazel eyes. And I was like, shit, I gotta stay out of the sun.
I mean, that's just... No, I'm not going to say it's LA, but it is LA.
It's LA. It's Hollywood.
Yeah, like, oh, okay. Like, I've had niggas tell me before, like, oh, yeah, you know, bad yellow bone, or something red bone. I'm like, I'm not even light skinned like that, bro. You're mistaken. I'm brown. Like,
but a dark skinned nigga will be like, you're yellow like the sun.
They will call you light skinned all day just because I'm lighter than you.
Yeah, and that's what I used to say.
Does not make me light skinned.
That's what I used to say.
And I will argue that point till the day I die.
But... like, as you know now, as a black person, there's only two groups: it's light skin and dark skin.
I'm still fighting the good fight for us medium skinned people. Because it exists. I'm caramel. I'm not light skinned. If I was to take a paper bag test, I wouldn't pass it. Y'all wouldn't make me an AKA.
Ooh. That part, I used to be one of those until I found out about y'all too.
At least right now in the summertime.
Right? Call me around Christmas. Let me apply. Oh shit!
I think my boob could pass the paper bag test,
oh
but
God.
you know,
Can I do my sides?
You don't get no sun like that.
I saw a video with Matthew Knowles, and he was talking about this colorism and all that, saying that back in his time, the black universities had a paper bag test for you to even get in.
Oh wow!
And the only people that were exempt from it was athletes. I'm like, what kind of fuck shit is that? But when you look around, the same thing's sort of going on. Because if you go to a college campus, the blackest niggas there are the ones that play sports. Everybody else walking around kind of don't look like that. Unless they're African.
Was this only for like a HBCU?
HBCUs, period.
Oh, okay.
Like he went to Fisk and they had a paper bag test.
Ooh. That's a little fucked up.
So we're relegating education now to the lighter skinned people. So that goes to your theory earlier about seeing the dark skinned guys come out of the rich house. If they had been light skinned, you'd been like, oh, maybe that's their house. Because, historically, light skinned people have been offered much more opportunity as well.
It's so hard, and I'll just be honest about it. It's hard for me to not believe that or whatever, but I've never had to deal with anything like that.
Because you look how you look.
There was some girl on Instagram, I forgot whose daughter she was.
Oh, I saw that. It's the lady from Mary Mary. It's her daughter.
Right.
And she's telling her, Mom, you don't understand because you're light skinned. Look at you. Stop trying to tell me that what I'm telling you is not the truth. Mm-hmm. You don't know. And then she broke it down, named all these people in their family that was dark skinned guys with a light skinned girl. And the mom couldn't say shit. She was just I just don't feel that way. I just don't agree with you. And she's like, so what? It is what it is. Do boys come talk to me?
I can't relate. If I had a dark skinned daughter today, I couldn't say I could put myself in her shoes. That's like that documentary. There's dark girls and light girls. And to be honest, I couldn't really relate to either. That's why I'm saying I'm medium skin. Because I didn't have the light skin girls experience. And I definitely didn't have the dark skin girls experience. No one's ever told me oh, you're cute for a blank girl. You know what I mean?
Regular. But I feel there's also a hierarchy amongst light skin girls. And I make this joke. And I'll say it to guys and they'll get it.
But I do judge light skinned people because I do think that my first thought is you think you're better because you're light skinned. See, so you're high yellow, you probably think you're better.
It's another implicit bias. But I make this joke with guys and they get it, but girls get super offended. And I'll be because I'm not the Alicia Keys black girl. I'm 2 steps below them. Mm-hmm. So the Alicia Keys black girl, those are the light skinned black girls with good hair. I'm a light skinned black girl with regular black people hair. So I'm under them. So she's getting picked first. And then the black girls that have regular hair, but they have super long hair, and then them, and then me. Mm-hmm. So I'm third draft. Mm-hmm. And guys, they get it because they do the shit and they laugh. Girls be like, what do you mean? That's not true. Bitch, yes it is. Did you go to high school in LA? The girls that look like Janae Aiko, they're getting wiped up first.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then the black girls that look like maybe they got Indian in their family way back. And then me.
That shit is just so fucking offensive too. When people assumed you're mixed because you're lighter.
But you are. And that's what I had to deal with too. Because I used to get so annoyed with that my whole life. Oh my God, what are you mixed with? I'm bitch, black. Both of my parents is black. They just light skinned. I used to say that my whole life. I got 2 light skinned parents. I don't know. Leave me alone. But do your ancestry DNA and you find out that you're not black. You're not all black.
But my mom is dark skinned. All her sisters are dark skinned. You know what I mean? My grandpa is a chocolate man.
But your dad is a Creole person from New Orleans.
He's not even light like that. He's the same color as me.
But that's why you look how you look, my nigga. You running from this so hard.
Because I'm black. I'm fucking black.
Nobody's saying that you're not black. Well, I'm black too, but we're not black. We're not like the white people say on the street. We're not black.
Someone told me that shit in my job. They're like, it was a Hispanic lady. She's like, excuse me. She's like, mija. She's like, don't take any offense to this. She's like, but what's your race? What's your ethnicity? And I was just like, black. And she's like, yeah, but you're not black.
Yeah, because that's the truth.
I was so mad. I was like, huh? She was like, no, you look like you're Dominicano or Cubano. She's like, you look like you have some Hispanic in you or something. And I'm just like, no, girl. Your girl's black. Blackity black, negro, whatever you want to call it.
Africana.
Yeah.
Whatever. Mm-hmm. No, that's just not the truth.
But you know what? I have a friend and she's from Colombia. And she was like, you don't look like the black girls that are in Colombia. She's like, they have their hair is really, really big and they're very curvaceous, but I guess she's saying more voluptuous.
Yeah, big.
Yeah, and she's like, I was like, maybe they're just more they have more African roots.
Yeah, and that's what people are trying to say to us. It took me years, believe me, because I used to get pissed off. What the fuck you mean I'm not black? Bitch, I live in Watts. I'm black. What do I need to do? Do you think I have a special ID card? No. But when you understand your history and you understand your heritage, you're not black, okay? Because of slavery, the peculiar institution, Our great grandmas, they was getting fucked, and that's why we look the way we look.
Well, black people and African people look completely different. If you stand us next, if you sit,
so that's why the other people
Put
are
us side by
confused
side.
out on the street. Like, you're not that. Like, I see Nigerians, and you're not that. So stop telling me that you black, because you're not. So explain yourself.
Black is what I am. They're African. I'm black. You ask an African person if they're black, they'll tell you no.
But to a person, because outside of race is only a thing in America.
That's like how Mexicans and El Salvadorians, like,
yeah, they beef.
They beef.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing with blacks and African people. Like, we're different.
Yeah, but it's because, like, we, for the most part, we don't understand our history, and that was done purposely to us. It's not our faults. Mm-hmm. But race is only a thing in America. In every other country, it's nationality. Mm-hmm. So it's, you're Nigerian, you're Colombian, you're this, you're that. People know what they are. Like my friend I went to high school with, when she went to Germany and she was telling people that she's black, they're like, what are you talking about? Like, no, where are you from? Like, where are your people from? Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, I'm black. Like, I'm from America, and I don't know. They were like, oh, all you American black people are ignorant. None of you know your heritage.
It's not that we're ignorant, bitch. We don't fucking know because y'all burned our files.
Because of slavery.
Yes, we can't trace the shit.
We don't, it's not that we don't know. It's all mixed up with the European people that are here. Mm-hmm. I got into an Uber with a girl that was from London, and she was blacker than me. Mm-hmm. And we got into the same conversation. She was like, oh yeah, when I first got here, you know, they told me not to associate with black people because they're criminals and blah, blah, blah. She was like, so I didn't for a long time. But she's like, but then I started driving Uber, and I met a lot of you guys, and you guys are cool. She was talking to me like she wasn't black. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, bitch, you're 20 shades darker than me. Why am I the criminal?
Belizeans do it. Like, they're like,
I'm not black, not like you.
Black. Yeah.
Because they understand what's been done to us, and they do not want to be associated with that. Mm-hmm. They see us getting mowed down in the streets and all that. No, I'm not black like him. Look, I'm from this place. Check me out.
Well, check this out. Still nigga. Because if you look like us in America, you are us.
They put you in the bucket.
Basically.
But that's not really true, because they don't treat Africans like that.
If an African motherfucker was driving a car down the street and a white cop saw him, he's gonna see a nigga in the car.
But when he stops him, if he rolls down that window and he has a little Winston accent, ain't shit about to happen to him.
I doubt it. I still think you still get treated the same way as a still nigga.
I just haven't seen it. I haven't seen a bunch of Nigerian kids getting shot on the news. I haven't seen a bunch of Belizean kids. I don't see it like that. And that's why they think they're different than us, because they know they're different than us, because they are treated by others as though they are different than us. It's a Bahamian lady at my office. She comes in with her wig backwards looking all fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. And the white people love her because she has like a fake British accent. She's the blackest person I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. But they don't treat her like they treat the other black girls that work there. Mm-hmm. Because she's from, oh my gosh, she's from a different place. She's exotic. Oh my God, Martha, what are you going to bring for the potluck? Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, you going to bring chicken? What you going to bring, black girl? You going to bring the Kool-Aid?
I don't know. I still think that if, like, at first glance, like, if they saw an African man walking down the street, one African woman, Belizean, whatever the fuck you are, if anyone with African roots, let's just put it that way. Yep. Like, you're gonna be frightened. You're gonna think something. Mm-hmm. And you may not even clutch your purse when you see a black girl walk down the street. But you're gonna say, oh, she's loud, she's ghetto. You know what I mean? She's trying to be sexy because she has purse. I get that shit all the fucking time at work because y'all are some fucking haters. Every day I come to work, they're like, oh, you look too sexy. I'm like, because I have a nice body, bitch, and you're built like a square.
Yeah, I don't know if I told the story before on the podcast, but when I was a teller, it was like my first real job, they had like Spirit Week, and we're supposed to dress in different costumes, and they were like running down the week, and they were like, okay, on Tuesday, we're going to wear gym clothes, like activewear, and I just put my hand up, I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. And they were like, why? I said, because all of you are going to wear leggings, right, and these cute little tops, and it's going to be fine, but because I look the way I look, it's going to be super pornographic. And people are going to be saying, like, I'm going out of my way to do X, Y, and Z when that's not the case. I have the same thing on as you, but I'm going to get reprimanded. It's going to be different. Mm-hmm. So I have to come in my boyfriend's fucking high school football outfit so I can fit in with you guys, because it's not the same. Girls at my job every day wear skirts above the knee. They wear leggings to work with, like, a cardigan. They have no ass, so it looks like regular work pants. Let me show up in some leggings.
My nigga, I can't even wear a fucking skirt. I swear to you.
No.
I wore a blue pencil skirt yesterday. It was like knee length. And then my manager's like, oh, you can't wear that because like it keeps riding up and I see you have to keep pulling it down. Can you wear tights? And I'm like, I've worn this shit every fucking day. Like I've worn this shit like before. Like it's never been a problem. Now it's a problem. Like you find reasons.
I am making you uncomfortable.
Yeah, you find reasons to fuck with me. Like I'm like, no matter what I do, no matter what dress, what skirt I wear, it's gonna ride up because I have curves.
It's my ass. It's not the skirt.
Yeah, I'm climbing stairs, like, running back and forth, kneeling on the ground to help people with these fucking shoes. My skirt is going to ride. My dress is going to ride. And I was like, so I'll just I just won't wear dresses and skirts anymore. No, I'm not saying that you can do that. I'm like, apparently I can't because you're offended every fucking time I put on a dress or a skirt.
And it's because I don't look like you. That's just the gist of the conversation. Because she could have on a skirt, her. You could probably point out 5 other skirts and dresses in here that are probably more revealing than yours. But because they don't have the same body as you, it looks different. And there's all this stuff on the internet about that as well. The sexualization of black bodies. Like, black men and women are just deemed by society as like sexual objects, sluts and hoes.
There's a lot of work that has to be done here. But I guess, long story short, I'm just trying to figure out, like, how do I change my own implicit bias against my own people?
I think you got to be the change you want to see in the world.
Shit.
And since we all grew up a certain way with certain marketing, certain messaging, it's not going to happen overnight. But I think in thought, it's not sure we can really do about our thoughts, but in our actions. So maybe since all of this police shit started happening to black people, I've gone out of my way to just be nicer to other black people.
Me too. I try to say hi. Like at work, like I'll greet the black customers before I greet anybody else. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, how are you today? Blase, blase. But I will say this, black people, and
y'all don't make it easy. Y'all don't make it easy.
I work a retail job. I drive Uber. I work very hard. And 9 times out of 10, the biggest assholes I get are black people, my own people. Yeah. So this implicit bias, I guess, ain't coming out of nowhere.
No, of course not.
Can we just be kinder to each other just a little bit? Like,
we need to internalize in ourselves that we are worth more. Don't take this messaging from society. All of us are important.
We need to rebuild our community.
Yes.
If we ever had one.
I think we did. For me, it's now. I think the biggest problem with black people is the lack of the family structure. So that's why I go out of my way with the relationship that I have and everything. Like, I'm gonna do my best to make sure that I have a black family. I think that's the most revolutionary act you can do in today's time, is to have a strong black family with 2 parents, however many kids y'all are gonna have, and just be together for better or worse. Figure that shit out and make sure you raise strong black individuals to carry that forth, because that's really the problem.
Oh, you know what? Actually, my parents celebrated 22 years yesterday.
See, like, they are the champions. Like, they need a trophy.
I was like, how do y'all do it? I was like, what's your secret? And my mom was just like, honestly, she's like, just communication. She's like, knowing that the person that you're with is completely different from you.
And accepting
it. And she's like, and just keeping it real with each other. Like, and I was just like, really? Like, it's that simple.
That's real shit. Shout out to you, ma'am.
Yeah.
You're telling the truth.
I was like, because a lot of people don't stay married that long, especially black people.
Black people.
Yeah. Or a lot of people our age just don't want to get married, like, in general.
A lot of people our age are quitters. They like, oh, he did something like, fuck this nigga. I don't either. Fuck that bitch. She wasn't home at 7:45. She told me she was going to be there. Because we all have I think it's a false assumption, but we all assume that we have unlimited options now. In your parents' time, they were like happy to find love and find somebody that was cool with putting up with their bullshit. So they're like, okay, I'm gonna put up with yours. That's what's up. We're gonna do this together. Now, I don't think anybody our age is willing to do that for another person, unless they got a whole bunch of money. Because I see bitches taking ass whoopings and some more shit if you got some money.
I'm just, don't come at me, guys, because I'm addressing the issue. Like, oh, she don't like dark people. Oh,
no, that's not the case.
She love her some white people. She's Uncle Tom. She don't fuck with niggas like that. Pause.
No. And I think it would be a little bit different if we lived in another state besides California. Like, had we grown up in Atlanta or New Orleans or something like that, it would be a little bit less.
You know what? That's so true, because my dad, he's from Chicago, and like this guy, like, he goes out of his way to be around black people. Like, if he has a business meeting in LA, in Beverly Hills, you better believe he's gonna make his way over to Crenshaw
and get some food
at
and like
some
chill out.
point. Like, or just, you know what I mean, like to the hood somewhere. Me and my mom, we were like, you know, my mom's from LA
and she over
I'm
it.
from LA, and then me and her, we were like, why do you find a way to go to the hood? Like, why? Like, why do you want to? I think we've both said, like, why do you want to be around like black people like that? Like, and it sounds fucked up. I'm just like really like listening to this shit now, and I'm just like, oh my God.
And when I tell other people that aren't from California that, they look at me crazy too, but I'm like, we don't really fuck with each other like that. Like, black people's goal in California is to get away from the other black people.
Yes.
Like, I'm trying to move over here because I heard there's no niggas over there.
Exactly. And then like when I meet people from other states, like my girl BB, she's from New Orleans, and like I remember when me and her used to work together, she'd be like, oh shit, where's the black people? She's like, you know, I don't see like a lot of black people out here. Like, where, you know, just people from Atlanta. They're like, well, where do all the black people hang out? Like, where's the cool after hour, you know, work spot where I could get a drink, you know,
like,
in LA? And I'm like, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And like every place you go to in LA is going to be very mixed. Like, and there's going to be a sprinkle of black people in there. One or two if you're lucky.
And they may not be with each other.
No, and I was like, and the blackest part of the city you're going to get probably is going to be South Central LA, Inglewood, like, because I still consider Inglewood LA. It's very small. I know it's its own city, but I don't think it really counts.
Fuck you guys, just because you got your own street signs.
Yeah, but now that, you know, the gentrification's pouring in, that's another topic for another fucking day. But needless to say, like, there's no real black community here.
No.
And it used to be Inglewood, but like, it's not like that no more.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
For me, it really used to be like the Crenshaw area, like by Leimert Park. Like, that's where I would go get my school uniforms, and I would go to the marketplace in Inglewood and like get
But see,
stuff.
that's what I'm saying. Inglewood, like that Ladera, Leimert area.
Like, that used to be the black area, and now when I go over there, I'm just like,
it's not even.
It's
like,
lonely over here.
It's not the same no more. And I'm just like, God damn, like, are y'all gonna get rid of the man with the bean pies? Like, if you watch Baby Boy, the shit's not gonna be like that no more.
But the liquor bank is closed, and that shit made me so sad. When I saw it on the
serious?
internet, I was like, so many of my like young memories.
Did you see there was a Kaiser by the Crenshaw Mall now?
Yes, I did.
I was like, when the fuck did this get here? This shit pop up overnight? Near the jungles.
I told you it's white people live in the jungles now. Today I went to the Fox Hills Mall, and they got a motherfucking Trader Joe's in the parking lot. I was like, okay, guys, when do we start doing this?
At the Fox?
It's the Westfield, Culver City now. But it's still the Fox to me.
That's how you know somebody's not from LA when they're like, yeah, I'm going to the Westfield. I'm like, you mean the Fox Hills Mall?
Where's the Westfield at?
Yeah. What?
I knew.
That's a big chain. There's plenty of those all throughout the country. You talking about the Fox Hills Mall, I could get you there.
I can take you there right now. You trying to get some J's? What you trying to do? You trying to flirt with somebody, baby daddy?
I hate that mall too. I always see somebody I know at the Fox Hills Mall. It never fails.
At least you got a nicer mall. You've been with me to the Crenshaw. It's not a time I haven't been in there where I see somebody I don't know.
The Brenshaw.
The Brenshaw, and it's very uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh. We have to do like a Tales from the Hood episode. That might be our next one, because we got some funny stories just
Tales
from our
from the
time
Hood.
in college. It's coming up.
Like when Quanisha come up to me at Forever 21 in the Crenshaw Mall when I'm with you.
Oh my god.
Trying to pretend like, you know.
Or just fucking taking our little fitting bags on the bus.
And they like, where y'all going? Y'all going camping?
Oh my god. My little gangbanger boo.
Everybody makes mistakes. I had one as well.
Once upon a time.
Story time with Asha and Cam.
All right, guys, that's about all we have for today. But yeah, drop us a comment or something. Don't cuss me out. I love dark-skinned people. I really do. This test is just, I don't know. Yeah. But anywho, yeah, that's about all we have for today. So bye.
Bye.